Hello, I'm Pixarin, and I'm here with the first battle for my Battle of Rights. Battle for Rights, not Battle of Rights. Um, League run. Uh, so we are going to be facing off against Agent 7. And before we get right into the battle, I'm going to record a little overview of the team I'm bringing. Um, this might seem like a little bit of a weird one. It's kind of not the optimal order to go in, I guess, but it's whatever. Um, so we've got Phalanx here. Phalanx kind of just has the intention of sweeping, setting up and sweeping. I guess before I get into it, I should go over the Pokemon we have to fight, right? That would make sense. This is pretty scatterbrained already. So we are up against Agent 7, which is over here. So that is Zoroark, Salazzle, Quagsire, Archeops, Mawile, Kadabra, Decidueye, Crustle, Kangaskhan, Luxray, and Hakomo-O. A lot of pretty scary stuff, honestly. So yeah, already kind of talked about what Phalanx does. That's kind of what it does all the time. Turtonator is here as a defensive Pokemon. Mostly so we can get spins off if they set up hazards. They could try to go for some rocks, but I do have a prevention method for that. Hopefully that will prevent it before it happens. But other than that, just taking hits. It's max Spadef. Specifically, I think so it can take hits from Salazzle and Zoroark. I think it's kind of the best switch in I have for those. I don't have a good answer to Zoroark. So yeah. Next up I've got Quillfish, which is also defensive. And Quillfish is going to be, I think, my dedicated lead outside of one maybe decision I could make. But yeah, so we're setting up spikes, taunting their rock leads, which is the idea. And that's why it's a dedicated lead, because they've got Crustle could rock lead, and Mawile could rock lead, and we will outspeed those, hopefully, and then can taunt them before they get it up. Archeops is the one that's a little bit difficult to deal with, but hopefully it won't be too much of an issue. Could be, though. And I'm running Toxic on these to hopefully catch the Quagsire, since neither of them can really do anything about it, and they're kind of my defensive anchors. Next up I've got a offensive Choice Specs Whimsicott. Outspeeds everything but Salazzle, and does solid damage to everything, again, except Salazzle. U-turn for momentum and switcheroo to potentially toss those Choice Specs onto something that really wouldn't like it. Maybe they could end up on Quagsire or Mawile if they're a problem. Not really sure, but it's hurting me as well to give them up, so might not end up using it, but it's there. Mr. Pointy here is here as a bulky sub-attacker. And the idea I have for Escavalier is to get it in on a U-turn or a kill from my side. Like if a Pokemon is getting KO'd, get it to threaten something. And if it can threaten something, it can set up a sub on potentially an entering Salazzle or Zoroark. Later on, something that would come in and hurt it, even Archeops, and then throw off a hit that will hurt them pretty badly while they can't hit me through my sub. That's the idea. Hopefully it works, because I really want it to. And then this is a funky one, but I didn't have a lot for Kangaskhan, which even Kangaskhan can kind of hurt me. But I just wanted something that could take the normal hits, and I wanted something that, I don't know, did something fun. So here we are with a Rest Talk Pupitar. Rest Talk with Rock Slide and Mud Slap, which is not a move you see very often. Sadly, it doesn't get Sand Attack. But as I mentioned in the team breakdown video, you can use accuracy decreasing moves. So this is basically Sand Attack that does damage, but it can't hit flying types. So basically the idea here is just get this thing to sit there and rest and stuff and drop accuracy and get chipped with Rock Slide when necessary. It's the most expendable member of the team, I think, and it's kind of just basically there so I have something I can switch into Kangaskhan and maybe not die, because I'm very scared of Kangaskhan. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. I want to go ahead and accept the battle. Actually, before I do, I would like to import these into the calc so that I can do some mid-game calcing if necessary. Alright, and here we go. Have fun. Alright, they have both Salazzle and Zoroark, which are scary. I was hoping one of those wouldn't come, but obviously they both will. Archeops is horrifying. It kind of tears me to shreds. Quagsire is a bit problematic depending on what it is. And then we've got the Mawile for rocks, I already say that, and then the Luxray, which Luxray I really don't know what to expect from it. Falinks likes getting a Defiant boost off of it. I didn't explain the Keyberry. It's basically, if they use priority moves against me, and I have close combated, it'll make my defense a little bit better, but it's not really worth it in this game, is it? I didn't really think that went through, huh? I just kind of slapped it on. It's fine. I don't have a better item. It's whatever. So maybe it'll help out, maybe it won't. So my kind of idea was dedicated lead with Qwilfish unless I see the Archeops, in which case I kind of wanted to lead with whimsicott and get just a big hit onto it because it's so scary. But the fact that it came with Mawile means they could really lead either. I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Yeah, I don't know if we're getting link or what for the Discord server, but yeah. I think whimsicott's a good lead though. We could potentially lose it to the Archeops, but we'd get the Archeops really low to start off, which I like it a lot. Would have been cool if I put Taunt on it, but it's specs. I'm just so scared of the rocks, because if I get rocks up, if they get rocks up, I can spin them, but I take 25% on my Turtonator. And Qwilfish can hurt Archeops, but it can't prevent the rocks. So this is rough. I guess neither ultimately prevent rocks and can deal damage. So I guess this is still the best lead. So I'll go for Qwilfish as a lead. Luxray is actually the lead. I don't like that. Not even remotely. Does it get anything? I know it gets like superpower. I think this is just an easy switch into most safely probably Jelly Bean. Because yeah, I don't want to stay in against it. I need my Qwilfish relatively healthy. And there's the Mawile. So they are going to probably try to set up Stealth Rocks on me, which is fair enough. I can double into my Turtonator to hopefully get a spin-off, and it threatens them a decent bit. I think that's worth doing because I don't want to deal with rocks. So there we go. Oh man, they are playing me hard. They're Flame Orb, which is... Oh, that's so rough for my Toxics. Wow, they really prepped well, and they're playing well too. I have no... They're not someone I know very well, so I don't know how to expect things from them, and they're doing very well. So, I could do a few things here. They probably stay in at this point, I would imagine. Maybe try to get something up. I don't think Quag gets rocks. I'm not sure, I don't quite remember. But they could also predict a switch into whimsicott. I don't think they would though. We've been switching the whole game, so I'm tempted to roar, but I think I'm just going to go to whimsicott and take whatever comes. So it is an Amnesia, and that's pretty scary, but I am Specs, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw off an Energy Ball, and I think if it doesn't kill, it will do a ton. But it's good to know that they're Amnesia Quagsire, which is scary. And Amnesia Quagsire with Flame Orb for Toxic is a really cool set. I like that a lot, but I'm not sure I'm going to like fighting it. So we'll see where it goes. They could... So if they swap on this, I would imagine they switch to Mawile or Salazzle, both of which I love getting chip on, so I don't mind either way. And I do have a solid switch in for both of those potential switches I could make. And still no rocks up from the Mawile or the Archeops, which is fantastic. And that's just going to take it out. So getting Quagsire gone is fantastic this early on. They might have thought I would predict a switch or something, but I can hit things hard with that, and I'm not going to risk it. So Qwilfish takes hits from this decently. I feel pretty confident about it being a pretty solid switch. The only other option I would have would be going into Jellybean here, which could work. But I think Quillfish is better here. Hopefully okay, so they do toxic. Oh yeah, and the corrosion is a thing. I forgot about that. So I forgot that corrosion would be a thing I'd have to deal with. And that's annoying. Having my Quillfish poisoned, especially since I'm not running Pain Split this week. I have my own toxic, and that's rough, because now I don't really have much to toxic. I could see them switching, and I don't get a lot unless I spike, I think. Yeah, like, I could have gotten a tiny hit on that, but eh. And it's gonna get guts, right? Yep. Okay, scary. My dedicated switch to this is Jellybean for now. As I mentioned, it's kind of the weakest link member of the team, and I love that they're setting up. That's really fun, because I get to click Mud Slap, right? I'm gonna click it. I'm clicking Mud Slap. Ow, that hurt. So I got a Mud Slap off. That's fun. I could swap into this thing, or I could swap in another direction. We'll see. Ice Fang will hurt a good few things. I'm not sure what it gets for Turtonator. Turtonator, so Luxray. Let me just look for Luxray. Does it get any ground moves? I don't think it really will. So I feel pretty confident I can swap into Turtonator and be relatively okay. Ice Fang comes off, does 27. Not a big deal. And they've got lowered accuracy, so I don't think they're really going to want to do much. So I could Flamethrower. I don't really know what their switch in to this is. But if they don't switch, I don't know. They don't really have a great option. I feel pretty confident going for Aurora here. Wow, they do have Facade. That takes a lot of damage off of us. And this isn't a good Pokemon for us to be dealing with right now. So I have kind of got answers to it. Not great ones, though. Turtonator's pretty low. I still kind of like having it around. It's mainly the thing that I have to take hits for the Zoroark, so that could be hard to play around. And also, there's no guarantee that this isn't Zoroark, which makes this a little bit harder. I don't really want to take Chip on my Failing, because I don't think that's the way to go. So it's either Jellybean or Angie here. And I think it's Rapid Spin with Angie, and then getting Women, because they might go for rocks. Okay, knock off. Alright, so really my only option versus this is just going right into Whimsicott and clicking Moonblast, because I need to kill it. They can kill me, yes, but I can do, I think, like 95% to them with a Moonblast. So there's Luxray. And Luxray is not... Yeah, oh, wow. Okay, that was Zoroark. Okay, that takes care of a very, very, very threatening Pokemon that I was not excited to deal with. So now that that is dealt with, that is lovely. And I would like to go... so there's the Mawile. And they know I don't have... Let's see. So I can expect a defensive Mawile, maybe. And if they are defensive Mawile, I could potentially get this thing set up. They could have Fire Fang, which I wouldn't appreciate, but I also don't think I'd take a ton from. Although, actually, looking at it, they didn't intimidate me, so they're probably Sheer Force offensive. And in that case, I'd probably prefer going to Quillfish here. I think that's the way to go. So let's get that Intimidate off with Quillfish, and they do SD, which is kind of scary, I'll admit. But we do get their attack down just a little. And we can Liquidation or Taunt to make sure they don't do it again. If they're really fast, they outspeed me, but I don't think they will be. So I'm just going to go right for a Taunt so that they can't get more SDs up, because they could see this as a setup potential. So I don't want them to be able to do that. If they go for an attack on me, it would probably be, if they have Earthquake, it would be Earthquake, because I'm pretty sure Mawile does get that. I could get a few things in. Let's see. I don't really want to go directly to that. I'm kind of debating getting this in. But it could be just an overall better play for me to go for a liquidation for chip on whatever they want to send out or whatever they want to do to me. Just tossing a liquidation off. So just a solid 33% and an Iron Head comes off. That does a little. Hurts a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I think swap to Escav. If they call it with a Fire Fang, that would suck a little bit. But, you know, we definitely don't outspeed. And I would wager that they probably have Fire Fang in there. Yeah, if they're running Sucker, I think that they probably have Fire Fang for Escav. I could scout it and just try to drop their attack at the same time by going back into the Quillfish. Quillfish doesn't do a ton still, so it's kind of worth it to do that. But I feel like this is also the only chance I'm going to get to sub Escavalier up. And beyond that, I think whimsicott does pretty good at beating things. You know, potentially, I don't know. I'm going to go for a sub. There we go. That's exactly the situation I wanted. Sub when I threaten something out, and then now I get to throw a drill run off. And even if they switch to Archeops, we can Iron Head that turn. So something is going to take something that they don't want to, and that's really, 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 really nice. Flamethrower comes off to break the sub, makes sense. Drill Run comes off, kills the Salazzle, and that was definitely a really scary thing on their side of the field, so I'm very glad to see it gone. What next? I could see a few things coming in. Archeops is what comes out. Does it get fire moves? That's a big deal. If it gets Fire Fang... Oh, it gets Heat Wave. Eee! Would it kill? That's a good question. Let's see. I can swap to either Jelly Bean or Smooch here. The Intimidator is really nice to keep around, so I would rather go Jelly Bean. I don't think Jelly Bean is going to have a lot of options at this point. And they did give me a Scarf. That's fun. Thanks for the Scarf. That's not great for me, but I can click Rest. They knocked it off and killed me. If I got that Rest off, it would have been at least health that we could throw on things, but that confirms that they were Scarfed, which means we definitely outspeed this now. We didn't before, which was kind of scary to think about, but we do now. And even if it costs us our whimsicott, the damage is worth going for. And I think this should 2 KO Mawile. It definitely 2 KO to Mawile. So at this point, whimsicott looks like it's in a fantastic position. I want to see what we do versus a Luxray. Whimsicott Pluff versus a Luxray. Standard Gut set will take about 66 from this. Okay. We should be able to do it, unless they're really defensive. Which I don't expect them to be. Should do 66. So, straight up kills, and whimsicott is doing great. So Falinks might not get any action, because this won't kill, but it'll get them low enough that they can't... Like, they'll have to roost it off, you know? So that's a pretty big deal, and they can't even kill Pluff from the Fetus range. So, Moonblast from whimsicott, and Specs is going to take it. Fantastic. So, not the most inventive sets in this game, but it worked really well. Yeah, Choice Specs whimsicott just put in the work, which is really exciting. And I probably will run it a little bit more. But yeah, I was just... Good game to Agent 7, and, you know, I am really surprised I won that. From the start, I felt like I was off on a bad foot, and I felt like there was a lot of stuff that was pretty scary on their side of the field, and coming out with a 4-0 is really, really nice. I feel like I played okay. And yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't done this in a while and recording is a thing, but hopefully I'll be a little less shaky in the future. But yeah, coming off with a win for our first game is really nice. And I'll see you guys next week or not next week, whenever I do the next battle. I don't know if I'm going to do an upload schedule or what, but whenever I do the next battle, I'll see you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see if we can keep a streak going for the next one. Bye-bye.